Levan Saginashvilli has set his sights on putting an end to the Brian Shaw hype before it can even begin. Hello, arm wrestling fans. Today, we're diving into all the exciting details from Levan's recent interview on the Engine channel. Levan has now begun to take his training seriously. Although we saw him training rigorously against Irakli and some other Georgian arm wrestlers a month or two ago, that wasn't the real deal. But now, he's officially begun preparing for his upcoming King of the Table super match set to take place in December in North America. From this point on, it's likely that we won't be seeing Levan get pinned by anyone, even during practice sessions, because he's about to become much stronger. We know how strong Levan gets in a very short period of time. Remember his recent match against Devon Larratt after recovering from his very serious wrist injury. Boy, that was some domination. Levan has made it evidently clear that he wants to be Brian Shaw's first opponent in the arm wrestling match. At first, this seemed like a casual remark, but Levan soon clarified his intentions. He believes that if Shaw were to arm wrestle someone who isn't from the arm wrestling community, the match wouldn't generate the same level of excitement and enthusiasm. This could cause the anticipated hype around Shaw's debut to fizzle out before it even begins. However, there's more to Levan's motives than what meets the eyes. He seems eager to be the first to defeat Brian Shaw, potentially in response to comments suggesting Shaw might be the one to dethrone him in the future. It was a humongous insult to Levan that a newbie is being compared to him, the ultimate arm wrestler of all time. It appears that Levan is ready to bring Shaw back to reality before he even gets started. He wants to make sure that Brian Shaw does not harbor any absurd ideas in his mind. Levan cautioned that if Brian Shaw were to face another arm wrestler first and lose, which he obviously will, it could damage Shaw's motivation, possibly preventing a future match between the two of them. This is why Levan is determined to be Shaw's initial opponent. When Engine asked if Shaw could pose a threat to the top super heavyweights, excluding Levan, if he were to train seriously for 3 years, Levan acknowledged that it's possible. However, he expressed doubt that Shaw would be able to focus solely on arm wrestling without being distracted by his other endeavors, like strongman competitions and powerlifting, YouTube videos, and other entertainment stuff that he indulges in. We have seen many non-arm wrestlers lose interest in the sport after not being able to perform at a high level even after years of practice. For example, we know the cases of Larry Wheels and Kirill Sarchev. It's challenging for these multi-talented athletes to stay motivated in arm wrestling, particularly when they don't see immediate success. The conversation then shifted to a potential match between Levan and Vitali Laletin. Levan is confident that this match will definitely happen, as Laletin seems to have the most potential among the current super heavyweight competitors. Though we need to realize Laletin is still leagues behind Levan in terms of strength and power, and on every count which decided the fate of an arm wrestling match. Laletin still needs to get significantly stronger to give a serious competition to Levan. And arm wrestling fans are kind of bored with opponents of Levan, since no one has been able to put up a decent resistance to Levan in the last 6 years. So, only time will tell whether Laletin can reach that level to challenge Levan. He needs to put on more body weight and increase his endurance and muscular strength. As for the upcoming King of the Table event in December, it's looking likely that Levan and Vitali will face off, especially considering that Aris Gasparini's shoulder hasn't fully recovered yet. With Erms out of the picture, the contenders are now narrowed down to Jerry Cadere, Alex Kurdicha, and Vitali Laletin. If neither Jerry nor Alex emerges as the clear winner in their match, it's expected that Vitali will secure the next spot. But the truth is that none of the mentioned 3 athletes can hold a candle to Levan, and I don't see them getting significantly stronger even in 1 whole year, leave aside in the next 3 months. We kinda know who will win the super match between Levan and whosoever. Levan admitted that his wrist wasn't completely healed before his match with Devon Larratt, and if those issues persist, Laletin might be able to take advantage of that weakness. However, Levan remains confident, asserting that if Laletin thinks he can take his wrist, he's in for a surprise. Levan already has a strategy in place to defeat Laletin, based on their previous encounters and Laletin's recent performances. The discussion also touched on Devon Larratt, with Levan noting that Devon is still extremely strong, particularly once he finds his position. There's speculation that Levan might have allowed Devon to get into position during their practice pull after East versus West, but Devon still managed to recreate the intensity of their official Supermatch's first round. Engine suggested that perhaps Levan felt Devon was stronger due to his own current weaknesses, but Levan dismissed this, pointing out that Devon wasn't at his peak either. Devon weighed around 110 kilos during that practice session, which is significantly less than what he weighed when he faced Levan in their official match, and he wasn't in full competition mode. While it's true that Leevon might lose some strength percentage when he's off-season, the same goes for Devon. Despite not being at his best, Devon still showed that he remains a formidable opponent. When the conversation turned to a potential match between Devon Larratt and Vitali Laletin, Levan expressed confidence that Devon would come out on top in the match between Laletin and Devon. From what we've seen in their common opponents, like Dave Chaffee and Ermis Gasparini, Devon appears to be on a higher level than Vitali. Unless Vitali can exploit one of Devon's rare weaknesses, such as being vulnerable to a tall top roller, it's hard to see Vitali winning that match, though I completely disagree with that point of view. Though Vitali is no match grower. For Levan as of now, he is a totally changed arm wrestler today if compared to his previous self. He is way more stronger and much more sound technically. I feel that Devon will be easy meat for Vitali. You may not agree to this. However, a match between Devon Larratt and Vitali Laletin will generate much more hype and interest than a match between Laletin and Levan. Let us face it, Levan has no challengers now. He is like the 1980s Mike Tyson, who was unbeatable. And unlike in boxing, you do not get defeated by a stray punch. You really have to win. And no one has any possibility to even put up a fight to Levan, forget actually defeating him for 3 times. So, let us hope for a more competitive super match in the upcoming East versus West, other than the Levan Saginashvilli match. I will end here. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel for more arm wrestling analysis.